Welcome back, friends. Today, I'm breaking down nuclear explosion sword technique. I kill one with one sword. But Jinquan doesn't get time to process any of that because this rain? It's not water. Every drop is searing into his skin like battery acid, and the pain is getting worse by the second. He forces himself to his feet and staggers through the empty streets, looking for any kind of shelter. He spots a faint light coming from a building nearby and drags himself inside. Inside, he finds a muscular man, bloodied, panicked, clutching something. The guy barely gets a word out before Jinquan hears it. Footsteps. Heavy ones. And then the doorway fills with two figures in dark robes and skull masks, giving off serious, "we will end you" energy. One of them spots Jinquan, and the decision is instant. He saw their faces. He can't walk out of here alive. These aren't regular thugs. These skull-masked enforcers channel some kind of purple magical energy through their weapons, and they move fast. Jinquan watches one of them swing at the muscular man, and in the chaos, he grabs a bloodied metal box off the ground. Whatever these skull guys came for, this is it. The building starts collapsing around him from the fight. Jinquan spots a sewer grate, rips it open, and does the only thing he can think of. He holds up the box and yells down into the darkness, "Help me! Or I throw this thing away, and your brother's death means nothing." Bold move for a guy who woke up 5 minutes ago. A small voice from below. Thanks. He drops in. Down in the sewer, a gun gets shoved in his face. And behind it, a young girl with pale blue hair and terrified eyes. She wants to know who he is, what faction he's with, and why he got in the way. Jinquan just holds up his hands. He tells her he was only looking for a place out of the rain. She demands the box. He hands it over, and that's when she breaks. She opens it and stares at what's inside. An emblem. Her brother stole it from the enforcers so she could awaken a combat class. That was the plan. Except now her brother is lying dead upstairs, and she's alone in a world she describes as cannibalistic. She clutches the emblem to her chest and just crumbles. Jinquan watches her, and something clicks. He's seen that look before, in his past life, in war zones, on the faces of refugees who lost everything. People with no country, no home, no one coming to save them. He kneels down and tells her straight, "Don't be afraid." Her brother hired him. He's her mercenary now, and he'll protect her the way her brother would have. She looks up at him and says something chilling. "You seem like a good person, but you're going to die. This is the Dead City." That rain you walked through. It's called dark rain. When it dries on your skin, it turns into concentrated acid. People who get soaked in it turn into those. And she points at these horrifying, zombie-like husks shambling in the distance. So, Jinquan takes stock. He's reincarnated into a completely different world. The Flying Eagle Empire, year 1000 of the Star Mark calendar. Magic exists here, and you unlock it through emblems that awaken combat, support, or special classes. The girl's brother died stealing one, and now that same emblem might be the only thing that can save Jinquan from melting alive. He looks at the emblem. He looks at the girl, and he makes his choice. He activates it. Chapter 2 kicks off right where we left things. Our MC is staring at a floating system panel in front of him, trying to wrap his head around how this new world even works. The blue-haired girl is beside him, and she's practically giddy. She tells him that the emblem was a perfect match for his body, and that he's been transformed into a full-blown expert. He barely has time to process that before a group of enforcers in dark cloaks and skull masks drops in on them. These guys are furious. They accuse him of using an emblem without permission, which is apparently a death sentence in this place. And they don't come to talk, they come swinging. But here's where it gets wild. Instead of panicking, our MC draws his sword and just goes off. He blocks their attack. This massive wave of green energy erupts around him, and he shields the girl behind him in one motion. The enforcers freeze. One of them literally stutters that it's impossible. And the MC? He's not running. He's not negotiating. He looks them dead in the eyes and decides every single one of them is staying right here. What follows is a full massacre. He tears through these enforcers like paper, spinning slashes, dark energy arcs ripping through the corridor. They try to coordinate, shouting at each other to stop him, but it doesn't matter. His sword cuts through them before they can even finish their sentences. The blue-haired girl is watching from the side, completely stunned. She can't believe he only just absorbed the emblem and is already fighting at this level. And then comes a detail that makes it even crazier. in the middle of the carnage. The MC checks himself and realizes all the injuries he had before completely healed. The emblem didn't just make him stronger, it restored his entire body. He flexes his hand, almost testing it, like he can't believe it himself. The last few enforcers alive are crawling away, panicking about how they can't even report back now. The MC walks toward them with his eyes glowing blue. He asks them if they're really still thinking about reporting back. Pause. Then he finishes the job. None of them leave that room. With the enforcers dealt with, the blue-haired girl snaps into survival mode. She warns him they need to move fast. Those were official enforcers, and someone is going to come looking when they don't return. She knows the layout of this place, says she's hidden out here before, and pulls out what looks like explosives. She blows a hole clean through a wall, and just like that, the two of them are scrambling through the rubble into the open. 1 hour later, they've made it to a quiet, run-down part of town. The girl brings him to her home, a small workshop above what looks like a repair shop. It's cluttered with tools and parts, nothing fancy, but she's clearly been surviving here on her own for a while. She apologizes for the mess, tells him to sit while she tidies up. The MC makes an offhand comment about how tough it must be running the shop alone, and her whole demeanor shifts. She goes quiet and says there used to be two of them. Now it's just her. He catches on immediately, her brother. He apologizes for bringing it up, and she quietly tells him it's okay. But they don't get to sit in that moment for long. The front door slams open, and a voice barks at them, demanding to know why the shop wasn't open. The girl's face goes white. She stammers out one word: Warlord. Standing in the doorway is a silver-haired older man with a scar across his face, dressed in a military coat, flanked by two thugs. This guy has authority written all over him, and he's not here for repairs. He asks the girl directly if her brother, Lin Hu, ever told her about the deal he made with him. She has no idea what he's talking about. The warlord grins at that. Then he snaps his fingers and orders his men to take her. She screams. The thugs grab her by both arms. And right when it looks like she's going to be dragged out, the MC steps forward. One word: stop. The warlord turns, sizing him up, and asks who the hell he is and why he'd have the nerve to get involved. The MC doesn't flinch. He asks what right the warlord has to take the girl. The warlord scoffs. He has the right of the warlord. But our MC is doing something behind his calm expression. He's using a special ability, a profession insight that lets him sense whether someone is truly good or evil. And what he reads off the warlord surprises him. The guy looks intimidating, talks tough, but he doesn't carry real malicious intent. So instead of drawing his sword, the MC does something unexpected. He tells the warlord he can tell he's a good person. That catches the warlord off guard. He says that word, good, is basically extinct in Dead Man's City. He asks if Lin Ho left any special final words. And the MC, switching strategies entirely, asks the warlord point blank, what's her price? The warlord's expression shifts. He says it seems Lin Hao believed the MC could actually make it back from pit number 1. So after that explosive clash, the MC doesn't flinch. He just stands there in the wreckage of the shop, sword at his side, cape settling, and calmly looks at Wang Meng, asks him point blank, do I qualify now? And Wang Meng, he laughs, calls the MC a rookie who isn't even first tier. But he agrees to the deal. Here's the catch though. The task is borderline suicidal. Pit number 1 has something called a grudge spider matriarch, a massive creature lurking in the mines. The MC needs to kill it. Wait 3 hours for a special flower called a grudge cleansing flower to bloom from the corpse, then deliver it to the guard post on Champs-Élysées Street in the lower city. That's the exchange price for Lin Meng's brother. Wang Meng says it all with this smug grin, like he's handing someone a death sentence wrapped in a handshake. And then he drops a bombshell. Through some kind of messenger frog, he announces that tomorrow at 8 a.m., every man aged 16 and up from Necropolis number 3 is being sent into pit number 1. Anyone who doesn't show, they die on the spot. Now our MC is walking through the dark streets with Lin Meng, and he's running the pieces together in his head. He figures Lin Meng's brother already knew this mission would kill him. That's why the brother stole the insignia. He wanted to secure a future for his powerless sister before he was gone. But the brother is dead now, and the MC starts wondering, Is this whole setup a trap from the warlord? He pushes that thought aside for now. Back at his room, he picks up his sword and decides he needs to test out this body's abilities before the morning comes. He closes his eyes, focuses, and activates his first talent, something called the Netherflame Idol. And bro, what appears behind him is terrifying. This pitch-black demonic figure erupts from swirling red and blue energy, horned, glowing eyes, veins of crimson light cracking across its body, like magma under obsidian skin. Blue flames roll off it in waves. The MC picks up the Netherflame-infused greatsword and swings it across the room, and the impact absolutely obliterates the stone wall in front of him. Dust everywhere, he smirks. The second talent on his status panel is Corrupted, totally unreadable. So that's a mystery for later. But the raw power he already has? Serious. Then comes this great quiet moment. He catches his reflection in a mirror and pauses. He thinks to himself, that's not me. His skin is too pale, too soft. A soldier's body wouldn't look like this. His status panel reads the name Diwu Jinquan. Not Jinquan, his real name, but a compound surname he doesn't recognize. He's fully in someone else's life now. He shakes it off. Priorities. Gather intel on this world. Half an hour later, he walks into a local bar. The place is alive, music pumping, people partying like it's their last night on Earth. And honestly, it might be. He sits down at the bar and asks the red-haired bartender if the drinks are free. The bartender grins and says yeah, because tomorrow they're all being shipped off to pit number 1. The MC presses for details. The bartender explains that pit number 1 is a mining operation, but not the kind where humans dig. Down in the pit are these massive creatures called sand devourers, giant worm-like bugs. The way it works is brutal. People get thrown down there as food for the sand devourers. After the bugs eat their fill of flesh and blood, they start digging tunnels and building nests, which loosens the soil for mining. The lower city miners call this process loosening the soil. The MC connects the dots immediately. They're not miners. They're bait. They're livestock. The bartender just shrugs and raises his glass. Says something like, "Good luck to us." And they toast. Then the chapter cuts hard to a completely different scene. We're in some kind of war room, and a man named Lee Hongyu, clearly a warlord's son, or some kind of local tyrant, is absolutely losing it. He's slamming his fist on the table, calling the lower city people filthy vermin and useless trash. He's raging about a stolen insignia. The stolen insignia. And demanding his men find it immediately. His subordinate tries to explain the situation. The original thief has been reduced to ashes. No identity left to trace. A second suspect escaped through underground water channels and blew up the passage behind them. The insignia itself is only the size of a gold coin. Practically impossible to find. Lee Hongyu doesn't care. When his subordinate asks what happens if someone already used the insignia, Lee Hongyu's answer is ice cold. Then kill every single person it could have gone to, one by one. But there's a complication. His subordinate reminds him that tomorrow morning, Necropolises 1 through 5 are all entering pit number 1 to mine crimson blood ore for the Eagle Cores. If they delay the mining schedule, the Eagle Core will come down on them hard. Lee Hongyu compromises, fine, but before anyone enters the mine, every single person gets inspected. He suspects the thief might be hiding among the miners. The chapter opens hard. Guards in black coats and fedoras physically shove our MC through the train doors. He barely gets his footing before he's swallowed by this sea of desperate people. The train car is suffocating. Passengers are screaming to slow down, yelling that they can't breathe, and someone shouts that 2 people have already died just from the crush of bodies. And then our MC picks up on something. In the middle of all this chaos, he senses a wave of malice, something dark hanging in the air that doesn't match the usual desperation. He spots a hooded figure nearby clutching a glowing purple crystal, and his instincts kick in. Something about this crowd is off. Before he can process it, bang! The guards storm through with guns drawn. They're screaming at everyone to freeze, hands in the air. Our MC complies, raises his palms slowly. He's cool about it. Not his first rodeo. Then the real problem walks in. This commander type strolls through the car. Long brown hair, military coat with gold epaulets, cigarette hanging from his lip. Total arrogance. He announces to the entire car that he lost something valuable in the lower city yesterday. and whoever took it. He suggests they hand it over. Our MC's blood goes cold. The thing this guy lost, it has to be the emblem. The exact item our MC picked up. There's no way that's a coincidence. The commander smirks. Nobody's stepping forward to confess. Fine by him. He snaps his fingers, and one of his subordinates, a scarred blonde guy, launches this mechanical spider drone into the air. It's got a glowing blue crystal core, and it immediately starts scanning passengers one by one, reading their spiritual energy signatures. The commander makes the threat crystal clear. If he's the one who finds it on you, you're dead. The drone sweeps over the crowd. It scans through clusters of terrified civilians, buzzing over heads, projecting that blue light like a searchlight in a prison yard. Our MC watches it approach, and you can see him calculating. He knows what he's carrying. He knows what happens if that thing detects him. Then the drone hits someone. It locks onto the hooded figure from earlier and starts blaring. Spiritual energy detected. Spiritual energy detected. The commander's face lights up with this nasty grin. He calls it out immediately. The hooded guy, blue-haired, clearly terrified, panics and tries to bolt. Bad move. The commander's men are on him in a second. They grab him by the cloak, slam him, get right in his face. The guy's begging, stammering that he didn't take anything, that they shouldn't kill him. He hands over the only thing on him, a glowing purple crystal. The commander takes one look at it. His expression shifts from excitement to disgust. A cursed crystal. That's not what he was after. This is junk to him. He crushes it in his hand, shards scattering everywhere, and barks at his men to keep scanning. And here's the moment that matters. The drone floats right over to our MC. That blue light washes over him. The scanner reads him, and nothing. No spiritual energy detected. He passes clean. Our MC doesn't even flinch. Just this slight, knowing expression on his face. Whatever's hiding that emblem's energy signature, whether it's something about him or something about how the emblem works, the scanner can't touch it. The commander's crew moves on to the next car without a second glance. Time skip, 5 hours later. The train has been rolling through what looks like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Massive chunks of destroyed landscape, red-tinted sky, the works. Our MC asks a nearby passenger where they are, and the guy explains. The red light up ahead means they're entering pit number 1. Oh, and the guards. They already jumped off the train a while back. Nobody's in charge anymore. The passenger drops another fun detail. The train goes straight into the heart of the pit. And the deeper it goes, the more monsters show up. Our MC makes the call instantly. He can't stay on this death train. He shoves a window open and launches himself off the side of the moving car, dragging another passenger with him. They hit the ground hard, tumbling, but he's on his feet fast, and then he sees it. A massive underground cavern stretching in every direction. Towering red crystals jutting out of the ground and sealing like teeth. Mist hanging over pools of murky liquid. The whole place pulses with this deep, alien energy. He's standing completely alone in the middle of it, and he mutters to himself, "This place is a total unknown. No intel, no map." He wishes he had a guide. Then he hears something behind him. A sound, movement. His hand goes to his sword. The chapter kicks off mid-action. Our MC is tearing through the pit when he senses someone tailing him. He doesn't panic. He stops, smirks, and basically tells whoever's hiding to come out and have a conversation like a normal person. Instead of talking, this guy, silver hair, goggles on his forehead, scraggly clothes, comes flying at him screaming. Full commitment, no hesitation, swinging for the kill. Our MC barely flinches. He draws his blade, catches the strike, and you can see it on the attacker's face. The instant regret. The MC's sword pressure is on a completely different level. Within seconds, the guy's weapon gets knocked aside. He takes a nasty slash, and he's on the ground begging for his life. And here's where it gets interesting. Instead of finishing him off, the MC asks 2 questions. What's your name? And why'd you try to kill me? The guy answers. His name is Chung Xiao, and his reason? He's been trapped in the pit for over 10 days. He was starving. His plan was literally to kill the MC and eat him. That's how bad things are down here. Now, most MCs would either walk away or put the guy out of his misery. But ours, he keeps talking. He starts asking questions. How do you get a profession? How do you survive in this pit? And Chung Xiao, realizing he's not about to die, starts spilling everything he knows. Turns out, you can earn a profession emblem by killing monsters, but it's rare. The easier way is to find rich kids from the upper district who come down to the pit for fun. They get emblem drops and don't even care about them. Problem is, those rich kids treat people from the pit like disposable bait. They'll throw you at monsters just for entertainment. And unless you get lucky finding someone decent, survival basically comes down to hiding in a cave for 15 days and hoping miners or upper district people show up before the bugs find you, and then Cheng Xiao drops the real bomb. Our MC asks how to level up, and Cheng Xiao's answer is grim. You kill bugs. But this is Pit 1. The bugs here start at level 11. For someone without a profession, that's a death sentence. Cheng Xiao puts it bluntly. People like them are just fertilizer. Right on cue, as if the pit heard him talking trash, something lunges out of the darkness. Our MC's instincts kick in. He shoves Cheng Xiao aside and yells at him to move. A massive red blood mosquito, level 9, tier 1, comes buzzing in with those glowing red eyes. Needle-sharp proboscis aimed right at them. Cheng Xiao loses it. He's screaming that they need to run, that they're dead if they stay. But our MC, he lifts his sword onto his shoulder, sizes the thing up, and basically says, yeah, it's a high level, but my talent can handle it. One swing. The mosquito drops, dead. One hit. Cheng Xiao's jaw hits the floor. He can't even process what he just saw. He immediately pivots from, we're gonna die, to begging to be the MC's right-hand man. Promising to do anything he says, the MC looks at him, smiles, and hits him with the most brutal rejection. Sorry, I don't need dead weight. And the panel literally slaps a giant red dead weight label on poor Cheng Xiao. Comedy gold. But the chapter doesn't let up. As they keep moving through the pit, the ground starts shaking. The MC notices a strange glowing vortex in the cave. And then something massive erupts out of the ground. A crystal ore bug. Level 15. Tier 1. This thing is covered in jagged red crystal armor. It's got glowing red eyes, and it's built like a tank. Way beyond anything they've faced so far. The crystal ore bug charges and grabs Cheng Xiao. The guy is screaming for help. Completely helpless. Our MC doesn't hesitate. He dashes in and rips Cheng Xiao free from its grip. The bug roars. Our MC squares up, reads its movements, and makes his assessment. High defense, but slow and clumsy. Perfect matchup for his fighting style. He weaves around the thing's attacks, blade glowing, and then he goes all in, calling out his technique, 3,000 flows. The chapter opens mid-slash. Jin Quan's blade tears clean through a crystal ore bug, a creature 15 levels higher than him, and the system pops off immediately. Critical hit, 1000 EXP, efficiency 100%. He jumps straight from where he was all the way to level 6 in one kill, and right away, his gamer brain kicks in. He's standing over this dead bug, surrounded by crystal ore and pink mist, and he starts breaking down the rules. 6 levels from one mob. The bigger the level gap with the enemy, the better the rewards. This world hands out EXP like an MMO, and Jinquan just found the exploit, but it gets better. The bug drops something, a glowing golden orb with a geometric pattern etched into it. The system identifies it as an equipment emblem. Crystal ore heavy armor, green tier. It boosts melee attack power by 5% and gives a chance to shrug off incoming damage. Solid piece of gear. Jinquan tries to equip it and nope. The system slaps him with a flat rejection. Level too low. The emblem literally bounces off him. He stares at it, annoyed, mutters something about level restrictions, and just pockets it. Survival comes first. Gear can wait. He pushes deeper into the cave, and that's when things shift. The tunnel opens up into this massive underground chamber, and the darkness ahead is filled with dozens of glowing red eyes. Pairs and pairs of them, clicking and chittering in the shadows. An entire colony of crystal ore bugs. Any normal person turns around. Jinquan? He grips his sword tighter and grins. More bugs means more EXP. He calls them little pests and charges straight in. What follows is a full-on grinding montage. Jinquan is cutting through these things like a lawnmower through tall grass. His blade arcs through one bug, then the next, then the next. The system notifications are stacking on top of each other. Crystal ore bug killed, 9 levels higher, efficiency 100%. Another one, 6 levels higher. Another, 5 levels higher. He's not even slowing down. By the time the dust settles and the cave floor is littered with bug carcasses, his status screen tells the whole story. Diwu Jinquan, Demon Swordsman, level 10, rank 0. He quadrupled his level in one farming session. And the system shows him his advancement conditions. He needs a swordsmanship emblem, 10 rank 1 demon beast kills at full efficiency, and 1 monster lord kill to rank up. Then a new drop catches his eye. A green emblem, different from the golden equipment one. This time it's a class emblem, Beetle Knight. A defensive class built around commanding beetles. High survivability. Not what he needs for his swordsman path, but it confirms something important. Equipment emblems and class emblems drop from these mobs. Which means swordsmanship emblems have to be out there somewhere too. He's working through that logic when something fires at him. A blast of green acid cuts through the air, right past his face. He dodges on reflex and looks up, and there it is, crawling out from the deepest part of the cavern. Massive blue crystal plates across its back, razor-sharp pincers, glowing red compound eyes. The system tags it immediately. Crystal or Bug King, level 25, rank 2. Jinquan's confidence cracks for the first time this chapter. He reads that level and knows the math doesn't work in his favor. He's level 10. This thing is rank 2, 15 levels above him, and it's not some regular mob. It's a Lord-class monster. He makes the smart call. No point fighting a losing battle. Time to bail. He takes off running through the tunnels, the Bug King crashing through walls behind him. But as he's fleeing, he spots something outside the cave. A pack of demon wolves with red eyes, snarling and territorial, and you can see the light bulb go off. Jinquan gets this smirk on his face, pivots, and leads the Bug King right toward the wolf pack. The king blasts its green acid straight into the wolves. The wolves go absolutely berserk, howling, charging the Bug King with fangs bared. Jinquan slides back to a safe distance and watches the chaos unfold. His plan worked perfectly. He transferred the Bug King's aggro onto the wolves. Now 2 groups of monsters that could each destroy him individually are ripping into each other instead. He stands there, calm as anything, sword ready, waiting for his moment. His plan? Let them tear each other apart, then swoop in for the finishing blow. Alright, so the chapter kicks off mid-battle. Jinquan is surrounded by snarling wolf-like beasts guarding this massive armored beetle boss. Glowing red eyes, crystalline spikes, the whole package. He's been using the smaller monsters as distractions, letting them clash with the boss while he watches for openings. Smart. And then it happens. The beetle's defense cracks. Jinquan sees the gap instantly, and he doesn't hesitate. He launches himself forward, massive blade drawn back, and brings it down with everything he's got. The hit connects clean, and the whole screen fills with an explosion. We're talking absolute devastation. After the dust clears, his status panel flashes up. Level 11, Demon Swordsman, loaded with skills like Troll's Earthrending Slash and Epic Super Armor. But even Jinquan admits this fight was close. He thinks to himself that if he hadn't used the surrounding monsters to soften the boss up, he probably would have taken real damage. A tier 2 boss at his current level is no joke. Now the loot drops. He picks up 2 equipment emblems. A blue tier set of boots called Beetle's Leap with a 5-star agility rating. And a purple tier crystal ore staff that boosts intelligence to 8 stars and has a passive mana refund mechanic. Solid drops, but neither one fits his build. He pockets them and keeps moving. That's when things shift. Jinquan freezes. He senses someone nearby. There's noise coming from deeper in the cave. Explosions, the flutter of wings, someone yelling. He pushes forward and hears a voice screaming for everything to stay back. And Jinquan pauses. That voice? He recognizes it. He rounds the corner and finds a red-haired guy armed with a high-tech sniper rifle, perched on a narrow rock ledge. He's battered, breathing heavy, and completely surrounded. Hanging above him are 2 vampiric blue Bat Kings, level 19, tier 1 bosses, with their red eyes locked on him like prey. The guy is panicking. He knows if he stays trapped, he dies. So he decides to go out fighting. He raises the rifle, takes a shot, and fires what looks like an ice element crystal round straight at one of the bats. It connects, but the impact just shatters against the creature. The bats respond with waves of fire energy that engulf everything around them. His ice attacks are being hard countered by their fire affinity. He grits his teeth. He can't accept going down like this. He mutters that he still wants to live. But the bats are closing in, slashing at him with their claws, and there's nowhere left to run. Then, a blade cuts through the chaos. Jin Quan drops in. One of the bats goes down. Then the other. Just like that. The red-haired guy looks up in total shock and stammers, asking if Jin Quan really just killed both of those bosses. And Jin Quan, cool as ever, just rests his sword on his shoulder and says it was nothing. The guy thanks him and says he won't forget this. They clasp hands, a proper respect moment between two fighters who clearly have history. Jin Quan tells him to follow along and that he'll lead them out. They start moving through the cave together. But as they walk, the red-haired guy spots something ahead and freezes. More bats. But not just any bats. Perched in the darkness is a vampiric blue bat king, level 20, tier 2. This thing has broken through to the next tier, and it's wreathed in fire, roaring so loud the whole cavern shakes. The red-haired guy shouts a warning. The tier 2 bat launches a massive fire attack, and both of them have to dodge. Jin Quan draws his sword and slashes through the flames. And that's where the chapter cuts. So we pick up right in the thick of it. The MC, sword drawn, blue cloak flowing, is shielding the red-haired guy behind him, telling him to find a way out while he holds the fusion boss off. And immediately, the red-haired guy pushes back. He's not having it. He's yelling about how this thing is a fusion type, way beyond a regular boss. If they don't retreat now, nobody's walking out of here. But the MC? Not a flinch. He calmly says it's not certain who's going to die here. And besides, killing a boss means way more experience. Then he just launches himself at this thing. The red-haired guy is standing there watching, mouth open, calling him a straight-up madman. Says he's never met anyone so eager to throw their life away. Now the fight itself is intense. The fusion boss is covered in flames, red eyes glowing, swiping and blasting at the MC with everything it's got. And yeah, the MC can feel the difference. He takes a hit and acknowledges it. This thing hits harder than the bosses before. It's on another level. But then he plays his real card. He activates the Netherflame God statue. And guys, the panel goes absolutely crazy. This pitch-black armored figure materializes around him. Glowing blue flames pouring off the armor. A massive weapon in hand. The whole atmosphere shifts. The Netherflame God statue charges straight into the fusion boss and starts trading blows. Blue flame energy crashing against fire and ice. It's not even close. The statue is dominating. The red-haired guy? He's frozen, stuttering, because he recognizes those blue flames, and he can't believe what he's seeing. He starts muttering about how this is impossible. How the Tianqi Empire's legion wiped out the family that carried this power. They killed the men, left only the women. There shouldn't be any descendant left who can use this ability. After the smoke clears, the MC status pops up. Level 15. Tier 1. He's gained 4 levels from this whole run. 3 bosses plus a few hundred bats. And he notes that the leveling is starting to slow down. The grind is getting real. But now comes the part that really makes this chapter special. The red-haired guy catches his breath and thanks the MC for saving him. Then he gets curious and asks straight up, "Are you a class holder or are you a normal person?" And here's where his own backstory drops. The red-haired guy admits he used to be a class holder, but someone tricked him and he got stripped of his power. Now he's just a regular person scraping by with a gun. The MC is surprised. He didn't even know that was possible. Turning a class holder into a normal person? That's a thing? The red-haired guy explains it. Deep in the abyss, there's a poison called the Death God's Flower. It corrupts a class holder's emblem, drains their power back to 0, and then the abyss's poison finishes the job. Nasty stuff. He goes deeper into his story. He was the only one in his family who never awakened a talent. But because he was the eldest son, tradition said he inherited the family's most powerful class emblem. And, well, the human heart is a treacherous thing. Someone in his own family used that poison on him. The MC takes this all in with a grin and says he can already picture the whole drama. 9 sons fighting over the throne. And this guy right here is the deposed crown prince. The red-haired guy fires back immediately, says the MC has no room to talk, because he recognizes him too. He thought the MC's entire family had gone extinct. He's shocked that there's still a sole survivor walking around. And then the lore bomb. He tells the MC that over 1,000 years ago, a legendary pioneer named 5th Xingxuan awakened an SSS rank talent and obtained the legendary class of Holy Light Knight. Both monsters and class holders feared him. And the talent he awakened It was called the Netherflame God Statue, the exact same power the MC just used. The MC absorbs this quietly, so he has that kind of bloodline heritage in this world. The red-haired guy isn't done though. He says the MC's family had actually become a disappointment over the centuries. For hundreds of years, nobody could awaken higher than S rank. The clan leader only managed an S rank statue, not a single SS rank, let alone SSS. The MC stays silent on that one, but the chapter doesn't end on backstory. Something drops from the defeated boss, a glowing emblem. The system screen pops up, Bat King's Blade, embroidered saber, a blue-grade tier 1 weapon, 5-star strength. It's got 2 passives, Shadow Swiftness, which boosts movement and attack speed by 20% in dark areas, and Bat King's Fury, a 25% chance to amplify damage by 50% on any given hit. The red-haired guy can barely contain himself. Swordsman equipment, and the MC is a swordsman. Perfect fit! The MC crushes the emblem in his fist, and the saber materializes. This gorgeous ornate blade with flame detailing along the edge. He gives it a test swing, and the thing is fast. He says it feels solid, not much worse than his previous weapon, and wonders out loud if it could be fused with something else later. Then he rears back and unleashes a full power swing. A massive crimson arc tears through the cavern, and even the MC is caught off guard by the speed. The shadow area buff is active down here in the abyss, and it's making every swing hit faster than he expected. Now right after that weapon fusion moment, the red-haired guy who's been lurking nearby, the one with that blue flame insignia on his jacket, walks up and casually offers the MC an emblem that dropped from the fight. And our MC? He doesn't even flinch. He's like, nah, I'm good. Low-level emblems don't interest me. The red-haired guy smirks at that and tells him that ambition is something they share, but also drops a subtle warning. A guy like you won't last long out here alone. Then he pivots. He tells the MC he wants to make a deal, and to sweeten the pitch, he pulls out a glowing golden emblem. A legendary grade class emblem called Heavy Artillery Controller. This thing is an ultra-long range sniper class with wide area attacks. He makes the argument that if the MC ever wants to build a proper legion to explore the wasteland, a long-range specialist is the one role you absolutely cannot skip. Our MC's eyes go wide. He asks if that emblem is seriously legendary. And this is where we get the full rundown on the emblem ranking system. 8 tiers total. White for inferior, gray for common, green for fine, blue for superior, purple for exceptional, orange for epic, gold for legendary, and red for mythic. So yeah, this guy is dangling something that's second from the very top of the chain. But here's the thing, it's not free. Red Hair wants to trade the legendary emblem for a favor, and our MC, being the cold-blooded negotiator he is, immediately puts pressure on the situation. He basically tells the guy, "Aren't you scared I'll just take it?" One swing and you're done. The red-haired guy laughs it off, says they're cut from the same cloth. 2 ambitious people who recognize each other. Then he starts laying out the real pitch. He reveals his family were the original founders of this very mine before they sold it to the Flying Eagle Legion. He's got insider knowledge, a detailed map of the mine's layout. He claims that with his guidance, the MC can safely reach rank 3 down here. And at rank 3, nobody in the lower city would be a threat anymore. The MC asks what the favor actually is. Turns out, deep in pit number 1, there's a creature called the Abyss Scythe Rat. It has a unique ability. It can sense and tear open portals to the abyss. Red Hair's plan is simple. Once the MC hits rank 3, he uses his devastating sword skill to wound the rat just enough to scare it, which forces the creature to rip open an abyss fissure to escape. And that's it. That's the deal. Get the rat to open a portal. But our MC isn't just going to agree without getting more out of it. He accepts the mission, then immediately flips the negotiation. He says he'll help with the Abyss Scythe Rat, but in return he wants everything. All the intel on the Resentment Spider Matriarch in pit number 1, plus the map itself. He's after something specific. A clear resentment flower, and that spider is guarding it. The red-haired guy looks genuinely shaken. He explains why his family gave up on pit number 1 in the first place, without sand-devouring worms. The red blood ore is nearly impossible to extract, and that Resentment Spider Matriarch has turned the whole area into a death zone. It's a rank 3, level 39 overlord. Anything below rank 4 that wanders in there is basically walking into a meat grinder. The area is so dangerous that even Redstone Tourism has banned upper city kids from going near it. Our MC doesn't care. He extends his hand. Deal. They shake on it, and just like that, these two form an uneasy but mutually beneficial alliance. They head deeper into the mine together, and the red-haired guy starts proving his worth immediately, warning the MC about level 18 steel-tailed scorpions that burrow underground and strike from below with their tails. Sure enough, one attacks from behind. Redhair shouts a warning, and the MC spins, blade already in motion, cutting through the scorpion in a single clean arc. But that's just the appetizer. A massive scorpion bursts out of the ground with a roar that shakes the cavern. The MC tells his new partner to back off and stay out of the crossfire. What follows is a full-on brawl. The MC tears through scorpion after scorpion, his fused blade carving through armored shells. Redhair mentions that these things drop hemostatic hides useful for healing, and he's already wounded, so he needs those drops badly. But the scorpions just keep coming. The swarm grows. Redhair starts panicking, and that's when the MC charges straight into the horde, yelling to stay away from his new ally, blade blazing. The chapter kicks off mid-combat. Jin Quen tells the MC to fall back while he holds off a swarm of steel-tailed scorpions. But our guy isn't running anywhere. He draws his blade and just tears through them. We're talking rapid-fire slashes, scorpion after scorpion getting carved apart in seconds. Dramatic beat. The system notification pops up. Steel-tailed scorpion killed, 7 levels above him. Efficiency rating 100%. Level up to 16 and our MC? He barely reacts, just casually remarks that these tier 2 monsters go down easy. Meanwhile, Jin Quen is standing there, having a full existential crisis. He flat out says that even an SSS rank talent swordsman shouldn't be able to do what this guy is doing. The math doesn't add up for him. The power output is way beyond anything a tier 1 professional should have. But the dungeon isn't done throwing problems at them. The MC looks up and spots something creeping along the cave ceiling. These twisted vine creatures with massive flower heads full of teeth. Jin Quen immediately warns him. Those are level 25 lords with insane regeneration. You can hack them to pieces and they'll just grow back. The only way to put them down is to hit the amethyst crystal on their back. So what does our MC do? He launches himself onto the thing. He's running up its body, dodging tendrils, and he spots the weak point instantly. Calls it out. The weakness is way too obvious. The amethyst is completely exposed. One clean slash and the whole creature detonates in a massive explosion. System notification again. Flower-mouthed insect king killed, 9 levels higher. Efficiency 100%. Level up to 18 Jin Quen is losing his mind at this point. He notes that every single cut from the MC's blade is perfectly smooth and clean, like slicing through tofu. The monster's armored shell split apart without any resistance. He even points out something wild. When the MC's blade connects, the wounds on these monsters seem to melt, like the flesh is dissolving around the cut. The MC internally credits that to his garbled talent bonus, the bugged-out ability that keeps making his attacks do things they shouldn't. Now after the fight, they pick up some solid loot. 2 crests drop, including a purple tier 2 ring called the Flower-Mouthed Ring. It boosts constitution and intelligence, increases healing effects, and comes with an active skill that heals and plants a regeneration seed inside the target. Plus it grants a 10 by 10 by 10 meter storage space. On top of that, they get a blue tier 2 priest spell called Divine Radiance, an area heal that also grants damage reduction to anyone caught in its light. Then comes a really interesting lore moment. The MC asks Jin Quen about debilitating skills, and Jin Quen explains that debilitation suppresses healing and recovery in living beings. The MC tucks that info away. Jin Quen then asks if the MC has ever tried removing a crest, and the MC says no. Jin Quen drops some crucial knowledge here. If you unequip a crest, it doesn't go into your inventory. It dissolves back into the world, gone. You can't trade crests, can't transfer them. The only way a crest reappears is when its owner dies. He tells the MC to stop thinking of crests as gear. They're part of your body, part of your cultivation. The MC makes a mental note that Jin Quen knows a suspicious amount about how all of this works. And then Jin Quen shifts gears entirely. He says the MC has outgrown this area. There's nothing left here worth fighting, except one thing. He points north, toward a lone Tier 3 lava behemoth lord. This thing is level 39. The strongest domain lord in the entire zone, right below the overlord class Grudge Spider Queen. It has absurd defense and devastating power, but it's usually asleep. Jinquan's reasoning? If the MC's insane cutting ability can bypass that defense, they might actually take it down. Plus, Jinquan personally needs the lava fruit it guards. It's food for an abyssal scythe rat. And killing it should push the MC up an entire tier. They arrive at the behemoth's lair, and yeah, this thing is enormous. A hulking mass of molten rock and lava, curled up asleep on a stone platform, surrounded by a sea of magma. The MC asks if it's truly defenseless while sleeping. Jinquan confirms it is, but warns that the defense stat is so absurdly high that almost nobody can actually punch through it. The MC smirks, says he'll give it a shot. He leaps off the cliff edge, blade out, cloak billowing behind him, and brings his sword down on the behemoth with everything he's got. The strike cracks through its rocky hide. The behemoth's eyes snap open, glowing molten red, and it roars, furious and awake. But the MC doesn't flinch. He charges straight at its face and delivers one final devastating slash. The behemoth splits apart. The whole cavern shakes with the force of the kill. System notification: Lava Behemoth, Domain Lord, killed. 21 levels higher. Efficiency rating 100%. And then the big one. Tier 1. Advancement successful da. Jinquan, sitting on the ground from the shockwave, can barely process what he just saw. A level 18 player just one-shot a level 39 Domain Lord. And to top it all off, a glowing orange crest descends from the sky. A Tier 3 orange epic equipment crest. The MC catches it. His cloak now radiating with new power, grinning like this was just another Tuesday. His pink-haired companion, who just picked up a molten lava fruit and is practically dancing about having a 20% shot at changing his own fate, actually has some solid intel on this problem. Diwu Jinquan asks him straight up, do swordsmanship emblems even drop here in pit number 1? The answer: technically yes, but the drop rate is garbage. To get any meaningful chance, you'd have to be killing monsters at least 5 levels above you. And then the companion gets into build theory, asking what kind of swordsmanship skills Diwu Jinquan is leaning toward. Diwu Jinquan says agility, but his companion actually pushes back. He thinks a Constitution Fortitude build makes more sense. Normally that would be a terrible idea for a swordsman. Constitution builds can't out-tank a shielded knight and can't out-damage a high-agility assassin. They're stuck in the middle doing neither job well. Most Constitution build swordsmen, according to this guy, die horribly to monster hordes because they just can't put out enough damage. But Diwu Jinquan is different. His Netherflame God statue already covers his defense. So, if he picks up a fast assault type swordsmanship skill on top of that, he can make up for the lack of agility and become something close to a perfect class. A tank who hits like a truck. That's the kind of game knowledge that actually matters. The companion lays out the plan. Hit 3 locations: the dry water mines, Ghostwood Valley, and the train terminus. For class advancement, you only need 1 skill emblem from your own class. Farm all 3 spots, and that's enough to reach rank 3. Rank 4 needs a full class breakthrough, which can't happen inside pit number 1 at all. Now here's where it gets spicy. The chapter cuts away to the lower city, and we meet young Master Li Hongyu, and he is panicking. Turns out Li Hongyu lost something important, an emblem, and he's desperate to find it before anyone else does. His subordinate tells him it's like searching for a needle in a haystack, especially since pit number 1 won't reopen for another 20 years after this cycle closes. Li Hongyu's plan is brutal: clear out Deadman City entirely, and have his scavengers comb every inch. But his aide drops bad news. A group of young masters from the upper city wants early access to the pit, and someone's already gone to Deadman City to recruit local muscle. Li Hongyu loses it. He orders that absolutely nobody enters without his say-so. If the thief makes contact with the upper city group, his leverage as a Vanguard conglomerate member becomes worthless. He calls in a favor from an old childhood friend, Fang Huai, demanding help blocking the upper city group. He even threatens to pin the whole loss on Fang Huai, since the emblem disappeared while Li Hongyu was traveling to accept Fang's invitation. But Fang Huai doesn't fold. He says he's innocent and welcomes any investigation. More importantly, he checked the site where the emblem was lost. The blasted out passage is still there. No side tunnels, which means whoever took it is still somewhere inside Deadman's City. And then Fang Huai just says, "You're on your own." Hangs up. Meanwhile, on a separate rooftop, another mysterious young master stands in the rain with an elderly servant called Old Zhou. He asks if they'll be able to find the item. Old Zhou is grim. The odds are tiny, and someone named Ah Yan can't afford to wait much longer. The family head has already traveled to Elemental Holy City, chasing a lead on another emblem. So that's at least 3 separate factions now converging around this lost emblem. And Diwu Jingquan doesn't even know any of them exist. Back in the dungeon, our guy is doing what he does best, killing things way above his pay grade. The system announces he's taken down the Rhinoceros Beetle King, a monster 9 levels higher, at 100% efficiency. His companion asks if he can have the rhino horn to help heal his injured leg. Diwu Jingquan tosses it over without hesitation. He already got what he came for, and what he got is huge. A skill emblem, Blade of the Army Breaker. Purple quality, rank 2. A rapid charge assault skill that lets you rush at enemies like a bolt of purple lightning. It's exactly the fast assault skill his companion was just talking about. And because of his Demon Swordsman class, Diwu Jingquan can learn skills 1 rank above his current level. He absorbs it immediately. Purple lightning crackles around his body, his eyes glow white, and he unleashes it, tearing through monsters in the cavern with devastating, crackling slashes. His companion can barely keep up, shouting that he's getting stronger insanely fast. 1 more rank 2 monster. That's all he needs to advance. His companion points out that deeper in, there's an underground pool filled with bone-eating fish, level 23 creatures that are tough to deal with because they stay in the water. But they've got an idea. Use meat from the Rhinoceros Beetle King as bait, so they literally break out a fishing rod. Bait goes in, bobber hits the water, and something bites. The system announces it loud and clear. Jin Quan has advanced to Tier 2. His status panel refreshes. Name: Diwu Jin Quan. Profession: Demonic Swordsman, Tier 2. And the man just smirks like it was nothing, saying the advancement went surprisingly smooth. But the real prize is his upgraded skill. Blade of Ruin jumps to Orange Grade Tier 2. And the description is nasty. It locks onto a target. Launches a charge with overwhelming momentum. Strikes like purple lightning. And the greatsword releases ruinous sword ki that sends enemies flying. This skill went from dangerous to absolutely terrifying. After the power-up, the two of them take a breather. They're sitting around a campfire deep in the pit, roasting food, and for a moment, it almost feels peaceful. Jingquan's companion compliments the cooking. Crispy outside, tender inside, and jokes that Jingquan could make good money leading tour groups down here. That comment opens up a bigger conversation. Jingquan asks how large the world actually is, and his companion lays it out. The world is massive. Humanity hasn't even come close to exploring all of it. In their region alone, the Hengsha domain, 3 superpowers have risen. The Flying Eagle Empire, the Apocalypse Empire, and the Elemental Holy City. And all of them operate on one simple rule. Strength decides everything. If you're not strong, you're living under someone else's control. Jingquan pushes further, asking how long the Flying Eagle Empire can hold. His companion's answer is grim. Even back when he still had power, beast tides were already threatening the borders. He flat out says he doesn't think the 3 major powers can survive what's coming. Eventually, the world will fall back into what he calls the Wandering Era, a time when monster nests cover the land, the weak are prey, and survival means hiding. Jingquan takes that in quietly. It's a chilling thought. Then the scene cuts hard to the surface. We see a sleek train pulling into a platform labeled Dead City Pit 1. Outer platform, tour group train. People on board are chatting about why they were delayed entering. The reason? The Sandavara swarm needed time to settle down. And this is where it gets interesting. 2 guys in suits start mocking a brown-haired man in a military-style uniform, calling him Young Master Li, the one who got his legs broken. They're laughing about how Jilinger's brother snapped his legs after he tried making a move on her, and now she's on this very trip. Young Master Li is seething, but he's keeping it together. Internally, though, he's scheming. He needs to stick close to the group because there's an emblem they haven't found yet, and he absolutely cannot let them trade it away. Then we see Jiling Air herself, silver-haired. Composed, completely unbothered by any of the drama, she simply tells everyone to move out. Back in the pit, Jin Quan and his companion head to Ghostwood Valley. The place is dark, overgrown, and crawling with the slicing blade mantises, agility-type monsters that are fast and vicious. His companion tosses him a blood bud shock bomb and explains the strategy. When the bomb detonates, it releases sticky blood filaments that slow enemies down. Jin Quan has super armor, so he can break free easily. But the mantises can't. Then comes a moment that hits different. Jin Quan notices his companion wants to use the parasites, little iron wire creatures that burst from the mantis after it dies, to level up his gun. Jin Quan connects the dots and asks if that's why his companion went after those vampire bats earlier too. His companion goes quiet, then reveals the truth. The gun isn't just a weapon. It was once his personal guard, someone who died protecting him. He refined that person into the ghost blood spear. The guard is technically still a profession holder, even in weapon form. That's heavy. But Jin Quan doesn't dwell on it. He tells his companion to handle the parasites. He only needs the 100% efficiency kill on the Monster Lord for a high skill drop chance. And then the fight begins. A slicing blade mantis lunges at Jin Quan, blades swinging. Jin Quan activates the Nether Flame God statue, that towering dark figure wreathed in blue energy from his earlier battles. The mantis tries a sneak attack, but the statue catches it mid-strike and carves through it. The system confirms the kill. Slicing blade mantis, 4 levels above Jin Quan. Efficiency? 100%. His companion is genuinely shocked. The mantis actually managed to cut into the Nether Flame God statue. That means these monsters pack serious power even against Jin Quan's strongest defense. Jin Quan yells at him to fall back, and right on cue, the mantis corpse ruptures open and iron wire parasites flood out. His companion grins, raises his weapon, and fires. Ice and energy blasting through the swarm in one clean sweep. But then the ground shakes. Something bigger is coming. A deep roar echoes through Ghostwood Valley, and from the shadows, a massive mantis-like creature emerges. Red eyes glowing, claws raised, towering over everything. Right off the bat, we're thrown into combat. Jin Quan dashes straight at the mantis pack, and his companion barely has time to shout a warning before Jin Quan's already swinging. The Nether Flame God statue flares to life around him like a ghostly suit of armor, deflecting the mantis blades as they come crashing down. And then Jin Quan goes full offensive. One clean sweep of his sword, and all 3 rending blade mantises drop. The system confirms it. 3 kills, 4 levels above him, 100% combat effectiveness. His companion just stands there holding his rifle, shaking his head. He admits he was worried for nothing, but Jin Quan doesn't relax. His eyes light up with that blue glow, and he senses something else nearby. One more. He calls it out and launches forward without hesitation, unleashing his troll's earth-rending slash. The ground splits apart. The blade carves through everything in its path. And more mantises fall, and then the real problem shows up. A massive creature bursts out with a deafening roar. This thing is enormous, radiating purple energy, towering over Jin Quan like a final boss, because that's exactly what it is. A rending blade mantis king. A hidden boss, 10 full levels above him. Jin Quan barely dodges its first strike. He goes skidding back and has to admit out loud, he almost died right there. His companion immediately reacts, tossing him a thunder bomb and yelling at him to use it fast. Jin Quan snatches it out of the air, pulls the pin and hurls it directly at the Mantis King. The explosion connects. The beast staggers, locked in place, sparking with electricity. And his companion shouts the opening. The boss is immobilized. Do it now! Jin Quan doesn't need to be told twice. He launches himself into the air, sword raised overhead, and brings it crashing down on the Mantis King with everything he has. The slash tears through the creature from head to ground. The system notification pops up. Rending Blade Mantis King killed. 10 levels higher. 100% combat effectiveness. Jin Quan jumps from level 22 straight to level 23. He flexes his hand and notes that his demonic body absorbed a huge amount of damage during that fight. Without it, that boss would have ended him. But here's where it gets really exciting. The loot drops, and Jinquan picks up 2 brand new skill emblems. First, Flying Wing 3-stage slash, a purple tier swordsmanship skill. 3 consecutive high-speed slashes, each one stronger than the last. And then the upgraded version, Demonic Wing 3-stage slash, orange tier. Same concept, but now wings sprout from the user's back, launching them forward at insane speed. The 3rd slash on this one penetrates straight through the target and hits everything behind it too. Jinquan puts it together immediately. To advance to Tier 3, he needs 3 swordsmanship skills ready at the time of advancement. And now, he's collected them all. His companion congratulates him, and Jinquan casually mentions that his weapon also advanced to Tier 1 in the process. When asked how many more levels he needs to hit the advancement threshold, Jinquan holds up one finger. Just one, so now the plan shifts to pure efficiency. Jinquan says they need high-level monsters that are slow, easy to farm, fast to kill. His companion grins and leads him to a completely new area. They walk out onto an open plain dotted with massive crystal rock formations, and grazing across the entire field is a herd of spinel-horned oxen. Tier 3 monsters, huge and heavy, with glowing purple crystalline horns. His companion lays out the situation. These oxen are normally docile. They won't attack unless provoked. But the second you hit one, the entire herd activates a War Stomp charge that no legion below Tier 3 can survive. The old strategy involved Earth mages digging trenches to slow them down. But they don't have any of that. Their only option is carving shelter into the rock walls and ducking in to dodge the stampede, then getting out fast. Because the oxen have an Earth prison skill that seals caves shut. Jinquan takes it all in, cracks a smirk, and tells his companion to stand aside and watch. The chapter kicks off with Jinquan pulling the trigger on his sniper, launching a blue energy round that cracks into the crystal mountain. The explosion echoes across the plains, and the Spinel bulls go absolutely berserk. The whole herd starts stampeding straight toward them, purple eyes blazing, horns down, the ground shaking under their charge. Jinquan shouts to get ready and braces behind the rocks. He's confident his gear can protect him even if things get close. And then Jiran makes his move. He slams his fist down into the ground, and this massive purple shockwave rips outward, splitting the earth beneath the bull's hooves and throwing them off balance. Jinquan immediately reads the opening. He knows the Spinel bulls have a cooldown window after they use their skills. That's when they're vulnerable. He opens fire, and his shots land hard. But the herd is deep. More bulls keep coming, wave after wave, charging through dust and debris. And that's when Jiran really goes off. He calls out, "Blade of Ruin," and launches into the stampede with his sword. One sweeping arc cuts through multiple bulls in a single motion. Then another. Then another. He's chaining attacks, back to back. Trolls earth-rending slash into Blade of Ruin, with zero hesitation between moves. Jinquan just freezes. He's watching Jiran tear through these monsters with consecutive skill combos, and he flat out admits, even at his peak strength. With his family's SSS rank talent and the mythic class scrapper, he couldn't match what Jiran is doing right now. He straight up calls him a monster, and then the system notification drops. Jiran has reached level 29. The dust settles. Jiran is standing on top of a pile of Spinel bull corpses, sword in hand, cloak blowing in the wind. The entire herd wiped out. Jinquan had planned to use his sniper to draw half the herd away to make things manageable. He didn't even get the chance. It wasn't necessary. After the fight, Jinquan gets practical. He explains that the bull corpses contain Spinel bezors, rare detoxification materials worth serious money. He tells Jiran they can sell them to the Tianhe Consortium, since their main business is potions. Jiran's eyes light up. He's basically hit a jackpot. But Jinquan warns him to move fast. The blood from all that slaughter is going to attract more monsters, and not just one type. They could be looking at multiple species converging on their position. Jiran just grins. He's one level away from his class advancement. More monsters means more XP. They collect the dropped emblems and head deeper underground towards the central area, where Jinquan mentions a place called a refuge nest. Basically, a feeding cocoon built by silver thread silkworms that traps monsters inside. A perfect grinding spot. Then the scene shifts hard. A train rumbles through the underground tunnels, and inside it, A group of well-dressed men are making deals over drinks. A guy named Liu Si is schmoozing with Zhu Jianxiong, a young master whose family is in construction. Their mission? Land reclamation. But here's where it gets wild. One of the men on the train, a guy named Zhao Liu Bai, glances out the window and spots Jin Quan standing outside on the platform. His face goes pale. He stammers to himself, questioning whether that person is really him. Whether he's actually still alive. He says the look in his eyes is too familiar to ignore. Before anyone can stop him, Zhao Li. The chapter opens on Zhao and his men searching the caves. Zhao is rattled. He swears he saw two people, and one of them looked exactly like Jiran. His subordinate asks what's wrong, but Zhao is already piecing things together. If Jiran is alive, why hasn't he shown back up in the upper district? That question hangs in the air with zero good answers. We cut to Jiran and his companion walking deeper into the mine tunnels. Jiran asks about the guy in the carriage, and his companion fills him in. That's the young master of the Tianhe conglomerate. And here's the kicker. He's actually a dark priest who's been masquerading as a regular priest. On the surface, the whole upper district thinks there are only two mythical profession emblems in play, the Blood Flesh Mechanic and the Thunder Beast Berserker from the Flying Eagle Legion. But the Tianhe family has been hiding a third one, and Zhao actually managed to sync with it. So yeah, the guy who just spotted Jiran in the mines is carrying a secret mythical tier profession. That's a problem for later though, because right now Jiran has a more immediate issue. He just walked straight into a silver thread silkworm trap. Silk threads snap tight around both of them, yanking them off their feet. His companion hits the ground and immediately calls Jiran out. Too busy talking, didn't notice the ambush. He explains that the silver thread silkworm isn't much of a fighter on its own, but its silk is absurdly tough, and it lays traps at insane speed. Then they both look up and see them. Rows of massive cocoons hanging from the cave ceiling. The companion grins. Those cocoons are the silkworm's food reserves, packed with trapped monsters. If Jiran clears them out along with the silkworm itself, he should hit level 30. Jiran doesn't need to hear it twice. He breaks free from the silk, powers up, and goes absolutely ballistic. What follows is a full-on slaughter sequence. Jiran tears through the cocoons one by one. Poison Stinger Beetle, 6 levels above him, dead. Mucus Worm, 5 levels above, dead. Burrowing Scorpion, 6 levels above, dead. Every single kill registers at 100% efficiency. He's cutting through monsters that outclass him by half a dozen levels, like they're made of paper. But after the rampage, he checks his status and clicks his tongue. Still a little short of leveling up. He needs the big one. His companion tells him the silver thread silkworm left warning threads all around its nest. Touch one and it'll come rushing back. So Jiran does the most Jiran thing possible. He walks right up to the threads and slices through every single one of them. The ground shakes. The silkworm comes screaming back. This massive segmented creature crackling with purple energy, fangs out, absolutely furious. The companion yells for Jiran to watch out, but Jiran just smirks. He tells the companion to stay out of it. He'll handle this solo. The silkworm lunges. Jiran meets it head on with his blade. One devastating strike carves clean through the creature, and the system notification confirms what we already knew. Silver thread silkworm, Lord class, 8 levels above him. Efficiency, 100%, and there it is. Level 30. Jiran stands over the silkworm's corpse, sword resting on his shoulder, and he's genuinely surprised. He didn't even realize it was a Lord rank monster. The advancement conditions flash on screen. Kill 10 tier 3 monsters and 1 tier 3 monster lord, all at max efficiency. Done and done. His companion tells him he already has 3 swordsman skills locked in. So all he needs now is to clear 1 more tier 3 nest, and he can advance straight to tier 3. Jiran asks for the full plan, and the companion lays it out. The real target is the Abyssal Kamaitachi, a beast with insanely sharp senses that needs to be surrounded and hit from every direction at once. The ideal battlefield is near the nest of the Sand Devourer swarm and the resentful spider mother. Stir up those 2 monster colonies, throw Jiran's attack into the chaos, and the pressure should force the Kamaitachi to open the Abyss channel. The companion pauses. He says if this works, they part ways here. He admits he doesn't even know if he can survive inside the Abyss. Then Jiran does something unexpected. He pulls out a glowing emblem and holds it out. His companion freezes. That's a legendary profession emblem. Jiren tells him a promise is a promise. The companion protests. The mission isn't even finished yet. Why hand over the payment now? Jiren's answer is cold and clean. If the abyss goes well, he won't need it. If it doesn't go well, he won't need it either. So he might as well hand it over now. The companion takes the emblem, and for a moment, neither of them says anything. Then he straightens up and says, "All right, let's clear one more nest and send Jiren into the abyss." Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos.